Hello everyone and welcome back to another new album video. We're now on week 20 and this week we're taking a look at Norman Effing Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. First released August 30th, 2019. Some notable tracks off this album include How to Disappear, California, Venice, Bitch and Doing Time. Ended up listening to all of her albums from either January or February up until just a few days ago. Blue Banisters was the most recent one I listened to. I didn't listen to them in order. I just kind of listened to one, then went on to another one, went on to another one. This whole thing kind of started out when I was listening to all of the Album of the Year nominees for this year's Grammy Awards, and did you know there was a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard was nominated? So I listened to that along with all the other nominees, and I ended up really liking it to where I then went through and listened to basically the rest of her kind of major label studio discography, and absolutely loved pretty much all of her albums. I think this one though, out of all of them, is my favorite, at least currently. I know she's releasing another album I think later in the year, Lasso, which is apparently going to be like a country album or country themed at least. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have some notes here about this, and we'll just get through that. We'll go through a track list and everything else. And like I said, before this year, I had heard her music before, like a couple like songs here and there, like "Born to Die" or like "Summertime Sadness" or something like that, like on the radio or streaming or whatever it was, like on Pandora maybe back when I was using Pandora. But I never fully listened to any of her albums from start to finish. First one I actually listened to was Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, and it kind of just went from there. So let me just pull up my notes here. Here we have, again, Lana Del Rey, Norman Effing Rockwell. This is her sixth studio album. Jack Antonoff ended up being a producer on this. I don't know what other albums he produced with her. I think he's working with her on Lasso as well. And I really like Jack Antonoff's work, especially with Lana Del Rey or other artists. It's weird, he kind of gets kind of dragged a little bit for some of the stuff he does with Taylor Swift, which I think is somewhat repetitive at this point. But he gets really good work out of Lana Del Rey, especially on this album, and I know he produced Ocean Boulevard as well. So he was the producer on this. This album covers a lot of different genres, at least according to my research. There's like soft rock, pop, psychedelic rock, and psychedelic pop, folk, a little bit of alternative in there as well. There were, I believe, 5 singles released off of this. I have them listed here. So there's the Mariners Apartment Complex, Venice Bitch, Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a Woman Like Me to Have, but I Have It. Doing Time and The Greatest. Doing Time is amazing. It's a cover of the Sublime song, which also features I forget the composer. Once I get to the track list, I'll probably be able to figure that out. But basically, the Summertime and the Living's Easy. That's a classic, and I forget off the top of my head who is the kind of like composer of that. But we'll get to that once we actually get to the track list. I'm going to bring up some critical scores here for it. So it came out to critical acclaim. Looks like where are we going to start here? With AllMusic, we'll do looks like a 4.5 out of 5 from them. AV Club gives it a B. Consequences Sound has it at an A minus. Entertainment Weekly gives it a B. The Guardian gives it a 4 out of 5, or gave it a 4 out of 5. The Independent, same, 4 out of 5. NME gives it a 5 out of 5. Pitchfork gave it a 9.4 out of 10. Rolling Stone gave it a 4.5 out of 5. And then Uncut gave it an 8 out of 10. So overall, very kind of like respectable reviews. Ended up winning the 2020 NME Awards for Best Album. It was nominated in the 2020 Grammy Awards, but ended up losing to Billie Eilish's debut. I like Billie Eilish, but I think this is actually a much better album. It's kind of a shame that this did not win a Grammy, or that Lana hasn't won a Grammy yet at all. Hopefully that gets rectified. I remember reading some interviews of people that were on the Academy saying like they based on some SNL skit that they were never going to vote for her for something that happened, years ago. I don't know the context of the SNL, not the skit, but the SNL performance. Apparently, it's just not a very good performance, and people are still holding that against her, I guess. Um, Top three, like I said, since I went through basically her entire discography without, I didn't do her what is technically her debut, which is just called Lana Del Rey, but it's with it A-R-A-Y. That got released in 2010, but apparently it got pulled after just a few months of release for some reason. I think their contract had expired with the record label that had put it out. I think only one track off that album actually ended up getting re-released. So I might have to look into where I can actually listen to that because it's definitely not on. I use Apple Music, so it's definitely not on there. Um, Definitely gonna have to look into that because I would do definitely want to check it out. But probably my three favorite albums from hers that I've listened to all of them now in order are probably Norman effing Rockwell. Did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard and probably Ultraviolence? Those are the three that I keep going back to more often, especially this one, Norman Rockwell and Ocean Boulevard. Um, but her entire discography is very good. Let's just talk a little for a second about the album cover. This album cover is just I don't even know what's going on. They're on a boat and this guy's holding up like the sail. It's just a very cool cover. All of her covers have been like really iconic. Like the cover for Honeymoon, where she's just kind of got the big red hat on and is sitting in the star. I think it's Starline Tours. The Starline Tours like tour van that you kind of see going up and down Hollywood Boulevard. That's an amazing cover. The cover for Born to Die is great. So the albums are great, but then the covers and the people that she has that are like doing the covers, I'm not sure who's doing the exact like layout or like the photography on those, but they're all amazing. This album ranked really highly on a lot of like year-end lists for. Let me see if I can find it. Those are decade lists. We're just looking at the year-end list here for 2019. So Billboard, it ranked number 6 out of 50 on their 50 best albums of the year, which are their staff picks. Clash ranked it at number 22 out of their basically albums of top albums of 2019. Entertainment Weekly put it at number 9 out of off their list for the best albums of the year. The Guardian has it at number 1 out of the best 50 albums of 2019. NME had it at number 3 out of the best albums of that year. Let's see, Pitchfork had it at number 1 of the best albums of the year. Rolling Stone had it at 3 for the same kind of list of best 50 albums. And then Time had it in best 10 albums of 2019. They had that at number 4. So really like critically acclaimed. Like I said earlier, just kind of shocking how this did not end up winning album of the year. Let me see here. There was like a little note here I wrote that says Sonic Xanax, and I remember reading, I think it was on Reddit somewhere, and somebody had just described Lana's songs and singing style as being kind of like Sonic Xanax, and I kind of agree with that because it's like the songs are just most of them are very chilled out. I actually have a playlist on my phone that I made. Let me see if I can actually pull it up here. I think it's just called Lana Del Rey Chill, but it's like some of her most laid back tracks. Let me actually just pop this list up and see what's actually on it. Yeah, so Lana Del Rey Chill playlist. Let's take a look here. 13 tracks on it so far, about an hour and 8 minutes. Sorry, excuse me. So I have on here from this list, some of these are from different albums, but we have Bel Air, which is off of Paradise. The Grants, the opening track off Ocean Boulevard. We have Venice Bitch off this album. Norman Effing Rockwell off this album. Born to Die off of Born to Die. Get Free off Lust for Life. California off of this album. Say Yes to Heaven, which I think was just a single. Brooklyn Baby from Ultraviolence. Happiness is a Butterfly off of this album. How to Disappear off of this album. Kintsugi off of Ocean Boulevard, and then White Dress off of Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Definitely need to add more, but it's that those are some of the more just chilled out, laid back tracks, and like you could actually like it. Actually, just is very very relaxing music overall. Let's go now. Speaking of that, let's go into our track listing for this record. Let me just pull this down here. So it's about looks about an hour and 7 minutes long, and it's 14 tracks. Like I said, this is a classic. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. Just had to make sure that the doing time thing had the correct stuff on there so to be able to read who's doing it. So track one is Norman effing Rockwell. Track two is Mariner's Apartment Complex. Track three is Venice Bitch. Track four is F It, I Love You. I'm just censoring that just a little bit there. Track five is Doing Time, which also features some Beastie Boys samples, I guess, because like Ad Rock and MCA are listed as being the writers on some of that. But the people I was thinking about earlier are the Ira Gershwin is the composer who did Summertime, which is used in this cover as well as the Sublime track as well. So the Sublime Doing Time it's an amazing cover on this album. Track six is Love Song. Track seven is Cinnamon Girl. Track eight is How to Disappear. Track nine is California. It wasn't released as a single, but it's one of my favorite tracks on the album. It just has like, when you get back to California, just hit me up. It's like we could get all your liquor off the top shelf. It's like we could have a party, we could dance till dawn. California is an amazing track. Track 10 is The Next Best American Record. Track 11 is The Greatest. Track 12 is Bartender. Track 13 is Happiness is a Butterfly. And then finally, track 14 is Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a Woman Like Me to Have, but I Have It. One other thing I just want to mention about Lana Del Rey's music is she invokes California, like California imagery quite often. And I think it's absolutely awesome because like she'll like mention like certain streets in California or certain like streets in LA that I've been to, and like it just brings me right back to those moments. Like there was a couple times he's like mentioned what was it? It's trying to think. It's not Ocean Boulevard. I'm trying to think of the street now because now I completely am Sunset Boulevard. There we go. Don't know why I was completely blanking on that for a second, but yeah, like she'll mention Sunset Boulevard, and I've been to Sunset Boulevard, so I can like picture it in my mind when she mentions it. But don't know why it took me so long to get into her music, and I'm really glad I got into it because I think, like I said, I've listened to all of her albums this year and absolutely love pretty much all of them. Like I said, this is my favorite out of all of hers that she's done. Like I said, my top three are this, Norman Effing Rockwell, then Ocean Boulevard, and then Ultraviolence. But you can't go wrong with any of them. But that's going to, I think, do it for this video. Definitely go check this album out. I can't recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. Definitely go check it out. But that's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again in a week from now with a whole new album. Don't know what that's going to be yet, but we'll be back in a week with that. Again, so that's going to do it for now. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.